Beautiful saints, today is Wednesday, the 1st of July, and our readings talk to the human experience of the battle on the inside to consistently do what we know is right, to live the moral life, to live the life of holiness requires effort on our part. And Paul speaks so eloquently this morning to his own struggle with this. We, in fact, read throughout Scripture of a people struggling to live in right relationship with God and with one another, struggling in the ordinary and the everyday to be more faithful to the God who calls us into the light of his presence. In the Numbers reading this morning, we see the story unfold between Balak and Balaam regarding the choice that the king must make to either submit or rebel against a foreign invader. And Balaam brings a word of despair, saying that God will not fight for them, that they shall fall if they rebel. In the 1 Samuel reading this morning, we see how the Israelites have asked to have a king like the nations around them, and how this displeased God. And in our gospel this evening, we hear Jesus confront the scribes and the Pharisees with their own inability to understand how God is at work in him. And all of these struggles are a version of our struggles too. Perhaps longing like Balak that God will do things our way, for us, on our terms. Or like the early Israelites, times when we struggle with being so different from those around us, called on to trust a God that sometimes perhaps we cannot see. And even like the scribes and the Pharisees, times of missing the plan that God is trying to reveal to us. So what is the source of this struggle, this human condition of constantly grappling to know and do what is right? I would offer that it's ultimately the experience that makes us human. It's the phenomenon of free will. And this is both the beauty and the pain of being a human being, that we are given choice. This is our freedom, to choose our own responses to the circumstances we find ourselves in. And even if we want to give that choice away, ultimately, even that is a choice. My friends, we live in a time where government has made it very clear that our individual choices are what will determine the trajectory and outcome of this pandemic. There's no way around it. As a human family, as a nation, we have to go through this pandemic to come out on the other side. And each individual choice will affect the whole. Paul cries out, "What a wretched man I am! Who will save me from this condition?" And in doing so, he offers us a way through. The heart of Paul's message is the saving work that God is able to do in and with and through us by the grace given in Jesus Christ. So as believers, we share with humanity the freedom of choice. And our secret weapon, so to speak, is that we can choose to surrender to God's work of grace, allowing the Spirit to transform us, to guide us, to grow us in wisdom and love. We are not left alone in our circumstances. We are not deserted to this pandemic. God remains with us, seeking to bring us hope and a future. And so I would like to end by commending to your meditation the opening verses of Psalm 63 as a way of being more open to this work of grace. The psalmist says, "O God, you are my God. Early will I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you, as a dry and thirsty land where no water is." May these words echo the depth of our desire to seek and find God in a real way this week, to experience the power of God at work in our individual and collective circumstances through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.